So you did get married.
Yes.
You have 2 kids.
2 precious babies.
And you told me this in private, but how many kids did you guys want to have?
We wanted to have 4. Yeah. And I was praying to God that I was pregnant when he got murdered.
Oh, wow. I thought of that once. Just like whether it was meant to be or whether
I know.
we'd get news like that.
I was like, oh goodness, that would be the ultimate blessing out of this catastrophe. So now when I see young couples, I tell them, please, like, don't put it off. Especially if you're a young woman, don't put it off. You can always have a career. You can always, go back to work. You can never just go back to having children. And they grow so fast and so quickly, but I was praying, both of us were, we were really excited to just expand our family.
Thank God you have the 2.
I know.
Thank God.
Boy and girl, I know.
One day they'll find out. Right now they're just, little
know.
loves. And one day they'll find out that they're Charlie Kirk's children, and they'll know what that means. So I wanted to ask you, Erika, because you are so faithful, whether you had any premonition that something was going to happen to Charlie. Because I really do see you as connected, more so than the rest of us, to God. And I just wondered, did you have any sort of a feeling?
The thing is that I guess we just operate differently. We always knew there were threats. We always knew that there were people out there that hated us with deep, deep passion of hate. But it didn't scare us. Never, he was never afraid of that. Neither was I. Obviously, we protect our children. We don't show their faces on the internet, so that's very intentional. But I think we lived our life in such a way where if that was our last day, it was our last day. Like, we always lived as if it was the last day. That's why Charlie's speeches were so good, because he didn't know if that was going to be his last speech. And he was so intentional about every word. Every word had a meaning, and every speech had a connection point for the students and for whoever he was speaking to. And that's why he never missed the opportunity to weave the gospel into what he was saying.
Yes, that's what made him so much more powerful than the rest of us.
Yeah.
If you see the difference between Charlie Kirk and many of the right-wing pundits or commentators, it's that he supercharged the message that the rest of us were saying with biblical references, with faith-based wisdom, which made it 10 times more powerful. And people knew it. It's one of the things we're all missing right now.
But to answer your question, we always knew there were threats. We always knew that could be a possibility. But obviously, but we never lived in fear of when that day would be. We just trusted the Lord every day.
Now, of course, in the wake of Charlie's death, many are living under threat. I mean, the nutcases have gotten very loud and emboldened. And I just wonder whether it was the kind of threat like environment that you needed to actually worry that something could happen, or was it just the din of there are haters out there? You get these nutcase letters sometimes. Was it something like, no, it's actually getting really serious and we need to worry, or was it just the din of
No, you would see, obviously, leading up to that, there was several shootings. There was several individuals with guns on campus. So you knew that the threat was there and things were starting to heat up. But again, it wasn't anything that, you would think any different.
Nothing acute.
No.
I know that the morning he died, he went back into your room. He had slept in your daughter's room because he got up in the middle of the night and she got up in the middle of the night. There was a switcheroo.
Snacks.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
But he came back into your room and he got his necklace and he got his wedding ring,
In the
right?
morning.
And his necklace had a cross on it and it had St. Michael's medal.
Yeah, I wear it every day. It's right here.
Wow. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And Erika, help me understand. I genuinely don't understand. I've asked Frank Turek this. I've asked everyone I can ask this question. I don't understand how you can be wearing your cross and your St. Michael's medal and be shot to death. I feel, as Charlie felt, that's armor. You know, we wear that to protect us, and we believe God will protect us. How have you squared that?
The Lord is so powerful, and we're not meant to understand all of his ways. But there's mercy in that, knowing that God uses evil for good. I don't know what exactly that is, but I do know that the Lord will use it, and if that means revival, the Lord, I told people, I said, I have never found more comfort in the statement, "Thy will be done."
Explain that. Why?
Because it shows that control is an absolute illusion. The Lord knows the number of hairs on our head, and he knows the number of our days. And that's why Charlie was so intentional of making sure everyone knew that their role in life was so important, and that you guys are all the missing puzzle piece to this whole story. And we used to explain it when we would have dinner sometimes about how when you look at a tapestry, on one side you see all of these hanging threads, and it doesn't make any sense. They're all different colored threads all over the place. But when you turn that tapestry around, you see how beautifully woven together and how intentional every thread is to that tapestry. And yes, I fully believe that you put on the full armor of God every single day. I mean, henceforth, all of my bracelets and rings, like everything has meaning to me. And that's why I always wear my bracelets, always wear my rings, always wear my necklaces. And it's one of those things where we will never understand God's ways fully. We're not meant to. We wouldn't be, our mortal brains would not be able to even compute what he has designed and put together. But what I do know is that the Lord spoke through Charlie in so many ways. And I still feel so deeply connected to him.
Yeah.
And I know that the Lord used such evil to bring about something that will eventually come to good.
It's already started. I've seen it. I am a big believer in signs. You know, I think when you lose somebody, if you ask for a sign, do you guys believe in signs? Have you gotten any from him?
You know, it's so interesting. When we first started dating, this is personal, but I share it only because maybe it'll be a sign for you to know that Charlie's with you in something. When we first started dating, we were walking to dinner one night, and this happened a lot. The lights would start to flicker. And he'd look up at the light and be like, you know, it's so weird. This happens to me a lot. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. So our whole dating and whole marriage, anytime we'd be in a room and a light started to flicker, he would just look at me and wink. It was like our little thing.
His power.
It's a total frequency thing. And so the night everything happened when we were in Utah, I was in a hotel room by myself, in the bedroom portion by myself. And the bathroom light was on, and it just was a strobe light all night, and I was like, part of me couldn't sleep because it was a strobe light. The other part of me couldn't sleep because of how just my world has just crumbled, and the other part of me couldn't sleep because I was like, baby, I feel you. I know you're here. Mm-hmm. So that was, some signs. But another sign, too, is just my daughter, just saying little things and like, I'm okay. I see you.
Is she starting to get it?
Yes and no. We talk about heaven. I make it really exciting. I tell her, Daddy had so much fun today. Everyone who has written letters and sent gifts to my children, thank you. I tell her, my son, he's only 1.5 years, but I tell both of them, Daddy is telling all of his friends to send you gifts and letters, and Daddy is orchestrating from heaven to make sure that you always feel so loved. And the other day she was like, tell me about Daddy's day in heaven. So we talk about that at night. And then sometimes I'll say, well, tell me what you think he did in heaven today. And I just try to make it exciting, because heaven's our home. Mm-hmm. And so I just want her to know that Daddy is having so much fun and building a place for her and our family in heaven.
How do you, yeah. I know that you haven't watched the video, and you shouldn't watch the video, and you don't
never watch that video.
And you don't want the kids to watch the video. Yeah.
To see that video.
But how are you going to handle it when they get older, Erika, and they start to learn about the haters? Right? Because there does have to come a time where that needs to be put in the proper perspective. Charlie was so tough. It was hard to get him rattled about these attacks. But, and I can speak to this, having my own children, 2 of whom are backstage. There comes a time where you have to sort of help your kids understand the terrible negative messages that are out there about someone they deeply love. Have you thought about that at all? Like how you're going to walk them into that?
I first and foremost want my children to have a childhood. So that's another reason why I don't put them on the internet. It's another reason why I don't expose them to certain screen time. I've said it before, some of the shows, the only shows they would watch is Charlie, Bob Ross, because he has a very nap-inducing voice. And then, every now and then it would be some of Charlie's events. But I want them to be children first, and I want to teach them so much about God and Jesus, so that when they do get older and they do see the hate, they also understand how much good is still out there. And they also understand that they could be the antidote to the evil, and they can pray for those people and not be afraid. I'd never want them to be afraid.
My friend just lost her ring. She went to replace it. She realized it was a gold ring. The price of it has gone up like 25% since she bought the ring a year ago. That's because gold is on the march upward. And it is the one time of year that Birch Gold Group gives away free gold with every qualifying purchase. That's right, for Black Friday, when you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, Birch Gold will send free gold to your home for every $20,000 purchased. Gold started this year around $2,600 an ounce. By October, it was over $4,000 an ounce. Why? Global uncertainty. 2025 has been defined by trade wars, central banks are pulling from the US dollar as the global reserve currency, and military tension continues to build. Gold thrives in times of uncertainty, and if you are looking to diversify your savings, Birch Gold can help you. Plus, now through November 30th, get free gold, I say, with a qualifying purchase. Just text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and for a free info kit on gold. But your opportunity for free gold with purchase will end on November 30th, so don't wait. Text MK to the number 989898 for full details. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.